interview. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everyone's having a great start to their day. This is John Bonacci, your Influential's tribe leader. And today we have a phenomenal interview with my boy here, Ryan Hollins. Ryan is an absolute stud. He's an influencer. And as I promised, I'm going to get the best, the baddest, and the brightest to join us to learn from. Ryan is many things to many people. I'll give you a quick rundown on Ryan if you haven't already Googled him and learned about what a boss he is. Ryan is an amazing, father. I've seen him with his little kids at our flag football games. Ryan has played for 9 different NBA franchises. That's 9 different conversations he's had to convince somebody of his skill set. He's been to the NBA playoffs, I think, 4 times now. I was giving you a hard time. I said you didn't have any career three-pointers, but you did shoot above 500 your entire career. You corrected me and told me you didn't look back at my UCLA stats then. Clearly, you got some buckets in you. Ryan recently won the bronze medal at the 2015 Pan American Games. He has played with all the top players in the NBA, and now he's really hit a new peak in his career because he's my flag football wide receiver. So obviously he hasn't hit that level. Olympics, UCLA, NBA, now finally rec league football. He's made it. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to start off with some light questions just to get some energy going. Guys, at the end of the interview, feel free to jump in. We're going to ask Q&A for him, but I got some great ones to get us started. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, Ryan, it is election week. Everybody's been talking about the election, and we're sure as hell not going to talk about the election on this interview. But every week we make choices. What is the most difficult choice you have to make each week as a father, an NBA player who's constantly looking for new opportunity and everything that you have on your plate? What's the most challenging vote you have to make each week?
I think for me, at this stage in my life, the hardest choice I make is to be a good man and to serve God every day. Because without that, I'm lost. Without that, I lose my family. Without that, what type of leader I am. So if I'm not putting God first in my life and I don't believe in him and I don't have something that I believe in and base myself on, I'm lost. And if I'm not lost this week, I'm going to be lost next week or at some point it catches up with me. And I'm a firm believer in that choice isn't just one time. It's a continual choice that you have to stay with. So as I grow in age, I just see how important putting God first is, and I see the blessings all through my life. You know, for instance, being able to talk to you guys today, and there's nothing that I can attribute my children or anything without having God in my life and being able to attain that and keep that. So for me, just like I can imagine all of us, man, it's just a constant struggle with just doing the right things and staying in a good place. And, staying on path. So I think that choice is just something, it's just, like I said, it's just a consistent thing. And it's a choice that you have to make night in and night out. And, sometimes it's easier than others. We all have our snares, I guess, that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Fair enough, Ryan. I really appreciate that. We all have our things that we need to revisit. So let me ask you this question. How often do you have to revisit that choice? Is it a choice that becomes apparent when you put your feet on the ground each morning? Is it something that on the hour you have to revisit that choice for yourself? How do you consistently engage with your choice whether or not to have God in your life at that time?
Man, I think everything it differs, man, because we all have different things that can sway us. Yeah. Or that get us, we have our own temptations. So some are stronger than others. Some are just simple. It's okay. It's not a big deal. And sometimes it's just a train of thought. Maybe it's a doubt in yourselves. Maybe it's a hesitation. But we're all human, man. And just, there's a very thin line between each and every one of us, between myself, between you, between everyone in this chat, between Bill Gates, between anybody. There's a thin line, man. We all have that, I guess you say, equal opportunity, or we have the same opportunity to make these same choices.
Love it. There's a lot of pride and power that comes with that. I'll keep it loose for you, and I'll change it up a little bit so we don't go too far into mindset before we really, really get rolling. Let's keep it light. What is the most, and this is for my sports fans on the call, what is the most underrated skill in the NBA? So in business, we talk about all the different skill sets that we need, and people will apply different value to each one. Somebody, the ability to deal with people. Another person might say it's your ability to lead. The next person might say it's your ability to work through details or find solutions. What is the most underrated skill that you found in your dozen and a half plus years of professional sports?
I say the most underrated skill from some of the greatest players that I've played with, I would say is consistency. And we always think of consistency as staying the same. But when I hear consistency, I think consistently working to get better. I think consistently coming in the gym every single day to do your job. Consistently having the right mindset that you're the best player on the floor, or that you work the hardest, or that you're going to game. So we always think of consistency like this even line. But with great players and great individuals, consistency is consistently growing. And that's in habits. Everybody thinks, oh, he did 12,000 jump shots and he got up from 5 a.m. to 9 at night working on his game and this and that. But it's about a habit. So it starts as just as simple as just waking up in the morning and getting to the gym. And then it's taking one shot. Then you take 2 shots. Then you take 3 shots. And everybody wants to look at the whole big body of work, but you don't have 10,000 shots without shooting the first one, if that makes sense. So having the discipline to stay consistent and consistently growing through the season and knowing yourself. The rigors of the NBA season are crazy. I don't think it's anything that anybody can compare to, because a regular work week for somebody is Monday through Friday, got my Saturdays off, got my Sundays completely off, okay? Possibly throwing some overtime. For an NBA season, you don't have days off. When days are off, someone's in the gym training. Or my Sunday is like your Saturday. My Saturday is like your Monday. Because while you're at home watching or enjoying the game, I'm your entertainment. So you have to watch me and I have to be ready to play. So you don't fall within a normal work week. So when I draw that back to consistency is going against the grain to succeed in the NBA or anything large profession or entrepreneurship that you want to take on, if that makes sense.
Phenomenal. That certainly resonates. I love the fact that when you said a lot of people see consistency like this, but we also have a choice to see consistency like this. And to me, that's pretty powerful. Let's talk a little bit more about some of these things that give you that power. So this is the influentials. You don't get in here without an invite. Everybody in this tribe right now is hand selected.
Thank you.
Believe me, you won't be on this interview if we didn't find you to be influential. So let me ask you this question. I am influential because I have the power to help people reach peak performance by working closely with them. Everybody in the tribe was tasked to really dig into what makes them influential in our first tribe call. So, Mr. Ryan, what makes you influential?
For me, as an NBA player, what makes me influential, the success I had came from my failures, because I wasn't always a McDonald's All-American. I wasn't the highly touted guy. I wasn't the kid in the 8th grade that you said is going to be the next LeBron James or the face of ESPN. I was a guy that was cut in high school, cut from the whole team, from the whole program.
And you cut down nets at UCLA, just to make sure that we're all on the same page here.
Cut it in high school.
I'm saying also at UCLA, you wound up getting there as well.
Yes. And I made it to UCLA. So for me, what makes me different is that I've always been myself through the whole road. I've always worked hard, and I never lost myself. And when you think of NBA players, humility is not synonymous with it. Being a good person is not always synonymous with it. Being a good father isn't always synonymous with it. So for me, I've always felt like I will sacrifice some performance or a paycheck for doing the right thing and being a good teammate and being a good person. Because for me, that's something that I always want to put forth. And you don't always see that when money gets involved. You don't always see that when the fans get involved. You don't always see that when a lot of different things are involved. So for me, that's what makes me influential, is that I don't want to have anything in the shadows. I want to be able to come home and represent myself in a good light, in a better light, than maybe, you know, the NBA image may be. So I want to be different in that I stand out to do the right things and for the right reasons, because you hear too many times an NBA player, oh, he's cocky, he's arrogant, he's conceited, he's got a million different women, he's this, he's that. And I just don't think that has to be what you have to be. You don't have to fall into that stereotype. And I don't want to shoot any guys down, because people have no idea what it's like being on the road or being in those situations that those guys have to deal with. But I believe you do have a choice, but you have to understand where your choices are.
Certainly. It's clear that you understand your level of influence that you have. And I think I speak for everybody in this tribe to say that it's refreshing to know that there are influential people that have made it to the level of influence that you have that still look at it as an obligation to do it positively, which segues me really into our next question. And you've talked about habits and conditioning. What are some of the habits that perhaps somebody like me maybe not noticing in their life that they could start to do to elevate their performance? So I'm a pretty darn good athlete. I think I could take you in a lot of things. I probably can't. There are habits that have allowed me to get to that level of confidence as well as physical ability to even make that kind of joke. What are some of the habits that you've really cultivated in your life that are happening behind the scenes, not just waking up and going to the gym, but the way that you go about doing it, not just interacting with your wife, but the way that you go about doing it, not just the way that you go and get signed by teams, but the way that you go about doing it? What habits are hidden behind the scenes that we're not seeing?
Obviously consistency, and I think that's overruled. And I think the first step, you said it, but the first step before you even get to the gym, before you even get up the shot, is just having the gumption to wake up every day and get there. And you've already beat half your competition because you got up an hour early, or you got up to go and do the work. So that already puts you ahead of half your competition. And then when I get to the gym, what am I doing? Can I visualize the game? Kevin Garnett, Dirk, all those guys, Jason Kidd, they visualize and see the game, or they see their competition in the practice. So as they're practicing, they know what they need to fine tune to be able to get into the game. And that's something that I learned. Kevin Garnett in shoot-arounds, you couldn't tell him that he wasn't in the middle of the playoffs the way that he would catch, pivot, take his shot. He was seeing and visualizing that shot go in before he even took it in the game. And your average player works out hard sometimes, works out so-so, gets in the game and goes, oh, man, I just wasn't feeling it tonight. They leave it to chance whether they succeed or not.
And this is still even at the NBA level.
At the NBA level. When you work hard in practice, as if you're in a game, and you get to the game, a guy like a Kobe or a Garnett or LeBron gets to the point where he knows the shot is going in because he worked that hard and he visualized and saw the shot going in. So your work habits, your preparation is to prepare you for the game. It's not just, oh, I'm practicing just to practice, or I'm going over this just to feel like I'm going over it. You have to mentally feel like you're in the game, or you have to mentally feel like you're in whatever profession it is that you're going into, as you work, as you prepare, as you put time into yourself, as you listen to, you're a part of the influentials, as you're a part of something like this. Dang, how do I fit in that, man? How can I put that in my game? Is my mindset right?
Love it. Love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. You talk about some of those leaders, and you talked about visualization being a differentiation point for you. It's like, listen, we're all showing up, we're moving the weights, we're bouncing the basketballs, but it's the guys that have visualized it over and over, played with that level of intensity previously in their mind, that are able to replicate it when it happens. You mentioned a couple of great leaders. Who are some athletes out there, regardless of sport, or even influential leaders, even if they're not in athletics, that you admire for their work ethic, their ability to create a vision with people around them, their ability to visualize their success?
I touched on it a little earlier, and I'll talk about Kevin Garnett. And my relationship with Kevin Garnett and why it was so important for me. I was falling to a place in my career where basketball was no longer fun and basketball was a business. And I had always played basketball with an equal opportunity. And when you get to the NBA or you get to your fellow, your selected businesses, it's no longer for fun. It's no longer like it was in school where we all have a clean slate and whoever gets an A gets an A. This guy's worth this amount. This guy's worth this amount. This guy's worth this amount. And there's a hierarchy. So on the basketball court, that guy's worth $12 million. I'm on the rookie contract. So now I'm lower than him. It's not just a freshman, sophomore, or a senior, junior type of thing. I'm now lower. I have a lower importance than this guy. So when you play in situations like that, and there are business moves made behind the scenes of basketball, it can really take the love out of the game for you. And when I got to Boston, Kevin Garnett, who'd achieved everything, all-team NBA from day one, been to the playoffs, won championships. He's done any and everything you can think success-wise in the game of basketball. 17 years strong when I got there. So he was already old when I got there. How hard he worked and how much he loved the game made me question why I had any excuses for why I couldn't work hard at 27, 28 years old, because he was 35 or 36 at the time. And I wanted to know why I couldn't work as hard as he couldn't work, or why I couldn't love the game the way he loved the game. And that whatever excuses I had, they really didn't mean anything, because this guy's a lot older than me, and he's stepping in and he's doing everything he needs to do to succeed. And he's found a way to play this game that I loved as a little boy, that I loved in high school, that I went to the gym to just play and do because I loved it and had a passion for it in professional sports. So when I learned that, it completely changed what I did. It changed every practice I went to. It changed everything that I could do. Because now I came into work refreshed, like, man, I love this game. If we got practice, I love practice. If I got to take a jump shot or I got to do something, I love what I'm doing. And if you can't take yourself to that place in what you're doing, it's going to be really hard to succeed. So you got to find a way to love what you're doing. You got to find a way to love practice. You got to find a way to love overtime. You got to find a way to love everything that you're doing. If you really, really want to succeed on it. Are you 2 feet in? Are you 1 foot in? Are you 2 feet out? And you want to be 2 foot in if you really, really want to succeed, man. Like, you got to be freaking crazy. You got to be nuts for what you're trying to do.
Grant Cardone calls it obsessed. Brendan Burchard says if you're not willing to pull the seeds out of the lemons that you're cutting, you shouldn't be cutting those lemons. And as a tribe, we talked about it earlier this week, that by simply placing yourself in the presence of somebody who may be more passionate about something that you're looking to increase your passion in is automatically going to skyrocket you. So there you see KG, he's got the wheelchair, he's got the rocker, he's rolling into the gym, he's full of passion. It automatically elevated yours just by being in his presence. Let's stick right there with that team dynamic, because we have a lot of people here that are on great teams, that lead teams, that are building teams, that are part of teams. What are some of the intangibles or the unspokens about team chemistry that you think deserve some merit or mention on this interview?
The team goes as the leaders go. You could try to mix and match it every team that I was on, and I've been on some of the greatest teams, and I've been on some of the worst teams. And when I say worst, I mean last in the NBA, set the record for losing worst in Cleveland once LeBron left. And I've been in Boston, a game away from the NBA Finals, and we would have beat the Thunder. A game away from essentially being champs in my mind and in my heart. And it started at the top. Leadership has to be from the top, because the leader at the top, whether you believe it or not, trickles down to everybody under him. And being a leader doesn't mean that you're just the best player or you're the highest paid person in your respective business or team or organization. A leader means that you humble yourself and you get down and you have respect for the next man. A leader means that you know that this guy needs a little more because he's not emotionally as secure as you are, and you have to get him ready to play night in and night out. So you can't yell and scream at him. You got to bring him along. Leadership means that you can talk to the next man and you can slap him upside the same head and say, let's go. But you know the difference between talking to each and every teammate to get where you need to go. So that leadership is much bigger than yourself. And then it's the responsibility of practicing what you preach. So night in and night out, you got to work harder than the next man. So can't nobody tell you that you're not working hard enough and you're supposed to be this leader. So you're not a leader then. And a leader has empathy. And when I say empathy, empathy means that you feel how someone else feels. You know what they're going through. Because I'm going to respect a leader that tells me, I know you're having a tough time. I know you're sore. I know you're hurting. I know you're tired. I know you were up late last night with the kids, but I need you to pull this through for me. A leader knows how to make people believe. So those leaders on those teams, man, I'll run through a wall for Kevin Garnett. If he called me right now, whatever he needs within reason. Dirk Nowitzki, whatever he needs. Jason Kidd, whatever he needs. Because those guys invested in me and they're Hall of Famers. They didn't have to. So when I talk about leadership, that's what I think about leadership. That's what I think about teams. And knowing your role. We always talk about, John, I'm sure you heard it before, being a star in your role. Being a star in my role means my job is to fill out paperwork on X, Y, and Z or execute this project. And I'm going to be the best darn guy at that project or in that role possible. And for me, I'm going to be the best shot blocker, defender, rebounder. I don't need to be nothing else. Yeah, I can shoot threes. Yeah, I can put the ball on the floor. Yeah, I can score more. But I have to do my job for the team to succeed because that's what the team needs. So I had to be a star in my role. And when I know other guys are stars in their role, when I know my shooter in the corner is supposed to knock down that three every time I kick to him and he's a star in his role, we're a better team because I know I can rely on him night in and night out. And I'm going to do my part to pick him up. And then we come together as a team around our leader. And he's going to have trust in us. I have trust that my teammate is going to be there. I have trust that the job is going to be done to the best of its ability. And now you rolling when that happens. That's scary.
Wow, you seem like a passionate guy. You ever been told that? Love it, brother. I love the way you're speaking with that conviction. That influence. You're enrolling the rest of us in the tribe right now in that vision. I don't think there's anybody in the tribe that wouldn't want to go play for KG or any of these guys that you've spoken about based on your ability to communicate effectively with us. You talked about a couple leadership concepts in that response just now. You talked about top-down leadership, having a strong leader that has a vision that everybody can follow. You talked about authenticity in relationships. Last week in the tribe, we talked about connecting with people below them, equal to them, and above them at different times in your interaction with them to get them the best results. And you also talked about individual accountability. So those are three great concepts that show up, obviously, on the basketball court as well as in the business landscape. I'm going to wrap up our questions here. Just so that way I can give some tribe members an opportunity to jump in and ask me great questions. This is actually a personal question that I've always been curious about.
Okay.
When I was back in grad school, there was a part of me that wanted to write my thesis on, is there a correlation between where an NFL player plays in college and then where he goes for his professional life? Is there a correlation in his success? So if a kid grows up in Texas, if he goes to play at the University of Texas compared to if he goes to play at the University of Michigan, is there a higher correlation by keeping people closer to home and love and where they're – I asked you this question in the NBA. You've played for 10 teams. How does the city that you play in, whether it be Boston, Atlanta, Oklahoma City, Clippers, Kings, how does that dictate some of the energy inside your sports franchise?
For me, a heartfelt fan is worth his weight in gold because I know when he cheers for me, it's coming from his heart. It's not coming from, I paid a certain amount of money for this ticket. I'm going to cheer for LeBron when he gets a dunk, or I'm going to cheer for this guy or Kevin Durant when he hits a jump shot. I'm for my team. I'm a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve. And when I get on the court, I'm giving you everything. And as a fan, when you're living and dying with me, I'm going to give you everything. And you're going to spur me on. When I don't have any energy left, you're going to give me that last bit of energy that we need or I need to win the game. So when I think of fans, I think of fans in Boston. I think of fans in Memphis. I think about some diehard fans in Cleveland that were down with us as we lost every single game. set an NBA record for losing. And obviously, last but not least, but in LA, where it meant so much to me to play in front of my father, to play in front of the fans, my hometown, at the Staples Center where I grew up at UCLA, just what it meant. But just for the fans, man, in the city that's behind you, like when it means something to them, when you're in the grind with me, and I'm working, when I'm giving you a product that's changing changing your life, that's changing somebody's life, when the work that I'm doing means so much to so many people, man, there's nothing like that experience, man. And it just means so much more, man. So I would also say, man, whatever work field you guys are in, if you're changing lives, if you're trying to change your family's life, whoever's pulling for you, whoever's hooting for you, man, just get behind it, man. You gotta feed into it, man, because as humans, it's our natural comfort zone to be selfish. It's our natural comfort zone to feel just to ourselves and that we don't see anybody around us. But the choices you make and how hard you work and the way you grind influence everybody around you. I grind for 4 faces, 4 mouths every night. 4 mouths every night. And when I play for my city, for Pasadena. Because right now I was the only active NBA player from Pasadena. So when I work, man, and when you go to work night in and night out, man, you do it for so many people other than yourself, man. And you are definitely not alone in your grind or with your teams or with your city or with your family, because somebody's checking for you. Somebody's pulling for you, whether you know it or not, man. So get out of that human mold of selfishness and think so far past yourself. And for me, that just took my game to the next level to realize it's bigger than just you, Ryan. It's bigger than you. And that's just my little advice, but just seeing past yourself and getting past our natural tendency of being selfish, man. And everybody does it. Everybody does it. You're not human if you don't do it.
That's right. That's right. Ryan, I absolutely love that. You talked about leveraging the energy of other people in your response to my question when I said what makes, playing in each NBA city different. You said, hey, who are the fans that are willing to stand shoulder to shoulder with us? And then you also alluded to who are the people in your life right now supporting you that you can stand shoulder to shoulder with more often and feed off their energy. And so I'm smiling big because I spent a lot of time talking to everybody in the tribe independently in addition to talking as a tribe. And I know how much your comments resonated with a lot of people on this call right now. So before I turn it, Before I turn it over to you, Ryan, to inspire us and let us know how you think sports are applicable to business in the best way that you can, I actually want to open up the mic to the rest of the tribe.
Yes, sir.
Guys, be polite with each other. Give each other a chance to speak. I'm going to go ahead and take everybody off mute right now. And if you want, just simply say, hey, who you are, where you're calling from, and hit my man Ryan right between the eyes of your question.
Man, thank you. Thank you, guys, tribe. Thank you for bearing with me. I've been doing a lot of things, and I hate changing time. So thank you for your patience, guys, and I hope I'm saying maybe at least one thing that could help you through your journey in life, So thank you for bearing with me again, and thank you, John, for giving me another shot at this.
Of course, for sure. Who's got the first question from my man Ryan? All right.
Yeah.
Let's see who we got. That looks like Eric. Eric, is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Awesome, Eric. Where are you calling in from today?
I'm calling in from Los Angeles, California.
Yes,
Phenomenal,
sir.
brother. Phenomenal.
Yeah, man. Hey, what's going on, Ryan Hollins?
What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Just want to say, not really the question. I just want to thank you, man. I'm a huge NBA fan. Definitely been following your career over the years, man. I just want to say thank you so much for your effort and also being UCLA Bruin. I didn't go to school myself, but I definitely am a fan. And I just want to say, man, it's a humbling honor to actually hear the words that you're saying and the inspiration and influence that you're giving me. It's something that I've heard, throughout my life, but coming from someone as successful and that have reached success at a caliber level that you have, it's kind of just like confirmation of the necessary steps to take to be successful or a high level of success. It's basically just like, rinse, wash, and repeat. And just thank you, man. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it because I know how valuable time is. So.
Appreciate it, boss. Appreciate it, man. Much love, man. And man, bro, there's not much of a difference between the professional athlete and the everyday person, man. You're on this earth to bless people's lives and change people's lives. So for me, I feel like the NBA was just you're 7 feet, you have a 40-inch vertical, so now you need to freaking apply yourself. Yeah. So for you or somebody else, it's a whole different story. You got the intellect and the ability to change lives. So I feel like this was just my path and my platform to be able to speak to people and to inspire. But I'm no different than anybody else or anybody else's blessings. They're just in a different form. And I'm a free agent right now. If the NBA is not for me, it's not for me. I've served my purpose, and I'm at peace with what I had to do. But we all have our journey and our paths that we step on, and we can't think, oh, man, he's just 7 feet. He made it. He just this, he's that. Oh, he's this, man. You got to take advantage of your blessings, man. And God has given each and every one of you, especially myself, all these blessings, man. So it's our jobs to take it upon us, man. And your blessings are in different form. Everybody thinks it's just money, man. Money ain't nothing, man. Money don't make people happy. If you really get money, your job is to give it back to your family or people that deserve it. All them cars and all that don't do nothing for you. It doesn't. Live comfortable, get what you need, and take care of your people, man. So money is nice. We need it to be able to eat every day and live in our homes, but you get an abundance of it. It ain't for you. It ain't yours. You can't take it with you. Go change somebody else's life with it.
Powerful. Eric, I know that when he talked about his skill set too, Eric, obviously you have your own business there, aesthetics. Eric is just as passionate about what he does as we are. So hopefully that's a launching pad. I know I heard a voice creep in there. Who else we got?
Yeah, it was Jenny from the block.
Jenny from the block. Holler, how you doing?
Hey, so I have a question for you. So I'm a part of a wealth and health company. I'm a part of a wealth and health company, and I come across a lot of athletes, colleagues, people that I meet that are Division I players going into the pros and are in the pros. So how can I speak their language about a gift that I have? And the gift that I have has to do with health and wealth. When they're always getting hit by these type, not specifically the same things, but are always getting hit by supplements, and some of them are even getting paid to endure all these.
Okay, in case that's not coming in exceptionally clear, I know Jenny.
All these things. So how can I speak? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Did you get Jenny's question there?
Yeah, I got it. I don't know if she's finishing up.
Yeah. No, I'm finished. How do I share this gift with the people that are athletes? Because I come across a lot of them, and sometimes I don't know how to speak their language.
I think you got to understand now that the kids today that are playing Division I basketball and even in the NBA, they're a different generation and they're a different animal than anything we ever knew or we ever grew up with. And they think different than we think. They're in the generation of instant gratification. And if they're playing Division I basketball or in the NBA or a professional somewhere, it's hard for them to not feel like they've made it already. And they're very selfish. Those kids are very selfish. It's rare that you see some that are really just down to earth. So you got to speak their language. You want somebody to invest in their product. You want to believe that they know you and they understand you. Because if I know you and you know me and I understand where you're coming from, I'm going to be more tentative. Excuse me, not tentative, but I'm going to be more accepting of your message. So once I feel like you know me and you understand me and you understand where I'm coming from and you've done your homework and you know where I play basketball, you know my hobbies, you know the things I like, you know the music I listen to, I'm going to be more accepted to now hear about something that I really need as far as nutrition, to figure out why I keep cramping up, or why my knees are hurting, or why I can't gain muscle, or why I can't shed fat down to, 3 or 4 or 5% body fat. So you have to do your homework on what these kids and what these athletes are watching on TV, what they're listening to, their mindset. Their music talks about instant gratification. Their music talks about money, women, all those crazy things. But this is what they're listening to. This is what they want. Are they a single parent household? Did they grow up with their mother? Did they grow up with their grandmother? Do they have girlfriends? Do they have many girlfriends? Know your audience. Know who you're talking to. And then leverage what you can give them. But you have to get their ear first before you talk about something like nutrition, because basketball players, we're probably the laziest athletes ever. We don't have to lift weights. We don't have to run. We just pick up a basketball and go play. And some of us make it to the NBA with that work ethic. Just get on the basketball court and don't play and go play. We don't have to think about nutrition like a possible football player who has to add 20 or 30 pounds of muscle before he can even play in a season. So basketball players are lazy in that aspect. So you have to speak their language and teach them. Maybe give them a free trial or something. Maybe show them another player who used it. Word of mouth is always good. But you have to speak the language or find somebody that speaks the language to these players.
Whew. Jenny, I know you love that reply. Ryan, that was phenomenal. I mean, we're looking for sales coaches here at Bonalife. And knowing your audience is right up there with delivering a message effectively. I know we got some guys here in real estate. We got some great guys in franchise ownership. We also have network marketing players on the call right now. Who else is out there and who else wants to share?
I'd like to thank Mr. Hollins for taking the time to be able to come on here today. We appreciate what you've accomplished and what you've actually put together to help us and guide us. This is Ken from San Antonio, by the way.
Much appreciated, boss.
Ken, do you have any questions for Ryan?
I do, yes. So the primary question is, like most people, I would imagine there are days when you wake up and you say, I don't feel like doing something. What helps you get through that and power through?
For me, those days when I just roll out of bed and I'm not feeling it or I'm getting lazy are the days where it kicks in that I'm doing something that I love. And I know I love it because there have been basketball games that have brought me to the point of tears. And if you can't cry about something or it don't hurt you to your core when you don't succeed, or it ain't something that you don't lose sleep over, you kind of don't have no business doing it. Or in some people's case, if it's something that you aren't feeding your kids with, if your kids have to be your motivation, if your mom, your niece, your nephew, your grandmother, if you don't have somebody that's the inspiration, they've got to be so far ingrained in your head every day to make you get up and do that work ethic. Because, yes, it's human. You're going to get up and you're going to feel like you can't do it. And I was blessed because my father at a young age, we were playing basketball in the backyard. I'll try to be real brief on this. We're playing basketball in the backyard, and I'm talking trash to my dad. And my dad is a big man, so I probably shouldn't have been talking trash to him. So he taught me a lesson, and he beat me so bad that I got in tears. I started crying, and I walked off and said, I'm done. I'm not playing no more. My dad immediately stopped what he was doing, ran after me, grabbed me, looked at me, and said, look, son, I don't care what it is for the rest of your life. You never, ever quit. I don't care how hard things get. You don't quit. And that was ingrained to me from a little boy, so I'm blessed to have that. So you just got to have whatever that driving force or whatever gets ingrained in you to never quit, to always keep going and get you up. Because, yeah, we're lazy. We are lazy, especially when you do something every darn day. So you need some extra motivation. You got to look at a picture of your daughter every morning, your dad, your house, that dream vacation you want, or that dream home, or whatever you're working towards. And that's almost got to be like, you got to refresh that mind to what you want and what you want to achieve. Because, yeah, it sucks doing the same thing every day. It sucks. It's just like everybody has those days, probably more than others.
Thank you.
Great question.
Good question,
So-
Ken.
Thank you.
Can I ask another question?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
So I also so when I come across athletes or boys, or guys, I've had a issue with them pretending that they're really interested in my journey and my path, and they really just want to get into my pants. So how do I separate myself from when I do come across these athletes and these dudes that I am not here to be your girlfriend. I'm not here for a one night stand. I'm not here for a hookup. I'm not here for that. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you take baby steps into bettering your health and your mind. I'm here for that. So how can I help the separation here, if you understand?
Yeah. Well, for one, don't take it as so much of as an annoyance, than a blessing, because you're gonna be able to, because you are good looking, you're gonna get indoors that other people cannot get into. You're gonna get conversations and details that other people cannot get to. So once you've established that, now you work towards the type of person or athlete they are. And you know what? Sometimes if you got to flirt with a guy and cut him at the door, flirt with him, cut him off, flirt with him, cut him off. One thing guys are, and especially basketball players, we're egotistical. So somebody may egotistically spend money on a product before they even know what it is. If you watch these TV commercials, sex sells. Now, I'm not telling you to sell sex, but I'm saying that attraction, that flirting does get you in the door, and then you cut it and get your product off. And as long as these guys are fighting or trying to get to you for whatever reason, it's still an advantage. But you do want to maintain those professional lines, and you want to get those people, you wanted to get them to sign up or spend money. You know what? If at the end of the day, they're too stupid to realize that you're giving them a product that they really need, that's on them. If they're not smart enough to do it, hey, but
Say that again,
there's
Ryan.
nothing
Go back to
wrong
that.
in my mind.
If you give them a product that they really need, that's on them. I really
Yep.
want to make sure we isolate what that just happened. One of the biggest fears I come across in all the salespeople I coach is this perception that they are bothering, annoying, or they have done something wrong in not communicating the value they bring. And as soon as you can disassociate from that and really start to believe that what you have in your hand, whether it's your network marketing company, your banking services, your real estate, your nutrition products, that as soon as you touch somebody with them, they benefit, and you believe that 1,000%.
Yeah. And I talked to my agent even about this, because he's having trouble signing these athletes because he's not into paying the kids or doing something like that. I said, well, hey, you need a good-looking girl to work in your office. You need these young idiots, because whether they know or not, you need to sign them up.
Right.
And once you sign them up or you get them going, if they don't want to use it, that's on them. But you got to do your work to sign them up. And if you got to flirt with them, you got to add in, or you got to play to the ego, do it. Never let them think you're stupid, though. Don't let them think that you're some stupid girl, but I'll flirt with you, but you know I'm serious about what I'm doing, and I need you to sign up. And I'm going to play to whatever you are. And every athlete and every person is different. So you got to be quick at reading people and what they want. You got some people that are really intelligent. You got some people who aren't. You got some people who they all have something that drives them. So once you find out how they tick, you got to play to it. You got to know your audience. You have to, in sports, what we say is KYP, know your personnel. If I know a guy is a jump shooter, I'm going to close out close to him. If I know he's a driver, I'm going to back up. So part of my job is to know my personnel before I step in the game. I don't get in the game and then figure out who they are. I know who I'm talking to before I approach them. And if I don't know who they are, I'm trying to pick up as fast as I can who I'm talking to. So that's something that you got to be able to pick up on and know who you're talking to and what they want. And you know what? Sex sells. So if that's getting you in the door, use it and capitalize on it. I'm a professional athlete. I can get indoors that other people can't. And I used to hate it. They're only talking to me because I'm a basketball player. They don't want to know who I am. They don't want to know how smart I am. But you know what? I said, forget it. I got to use this to my advantage.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk basketball, let's talk basketball. Now in a little while, me and you going to talk some money. And then I'm going to get you to take me serious because I'm going to tell you something that you didn't know about yourself. I'm going to let you know I'm a lot smarter than I thought I was. But I'm definitely going to use that to get in the door. So, Jenny, just like you said, I'm a 7-foot NBA player. People walk up and go, wow, you're 7 feet tall. Okay, well, let's talk business now. But I'm blessed to be able to use that to get in the door.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a question.
So powerful and applicable. Mikey Miller, where are you calling in from?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Word.
So I'm in the real estate business, Ryan. So my question for you would be, there's people that are leaders and that they know they're leaders. Although maybe there's a little bit of confidence issue. Have you ever had a point in your life where you knew you were great and then you took it to that next level and became great, like you were being that person? Can you explain maybe that transformation that you might have took place there?
Beautiful question.
Beautiful question. For me, from a little boy, my dad always told me I'd be 7 feet. Now, my dad is tall. He's only about 6'5", and my mom was 5'11". My grandmother was 6'2", so I guess that's where I get it from. But from a young age, I'm the tallest by a foot, darn near, in my entire family. Okay? So I've always felt like there was something special about me. I remember my senior year, I was always able to get by because I was tall, I had good grades, I was a good kid. And I hit a point in my senior year where I looked in the mirror and I realized all I was doing was making excuses. My coach didn't like me. My teammates didn't like me. It just wasn't my night tonight. It was always somebody else's fault rather than myself. When I looked in the mirror and I stopped making excuses and I realized the opportunities that I had at hand and that all I could control was to take advantage of my opportunities and I sleep in peace, my career didn't go like this, it went like this. So realizing the opportunities that you have are 100% of the battle and giving your all into those opportunities. And if there's a business meeting and you feel like if you don't speak up and say something, we're going to lose this damn sale, you have to be the one to speak up because now you can sleep at night and say you gave 100% into what you were supposed to be doing. You already know you're special. You know you got it. You know what you're doing. So now it's a matter of seizing the opportunities. And right now, if your opportunities are small, capitalize and crush every small opportunity because guess what? They get bigger. My coach had me on the bench my senior year. When I came back from injury, because I got hurt in the middle of the year, he gave me 2 minutes. I played the best 2 minutes he could ever see played, and I didn't complain about it. I didn't play 2 and say I should have had 4. Then he gave me 6 minutes. When I played those 6 minutes, I played those 6 minutes like they were the last 6 minutes I ever had. And being a senior obviously helped. Then he gave me 10 minutes. Then he gave me 15 minutes. Then he gave my starting spot back. By the time he got that, I got all that nonsense out of my head, and I realized who I was supposed to be. And that was to take advantage of every single opportunity and to know that those opportunities were not going to be perfect. It was not going to be perfect, but my effort and my attitude was perfect. I know, and you may not sell every house, you may not land every deal, but if you've done your due diligence and you're the best at your job, the odds will work in your favor because you did everything you could do. So you cannot be distracted by not succeeding, but that does not make you less of a leader because you didn't capitalize on what you were supposed to capitalize on in your mind. But if you did your job, you did your work, you grinded, you asked, you look for resources, you did your job, now you move on to the next. And I guarantee you'll succeed many more times than you fail if you step in with that right attitude.
Cool, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, brother.
Thank you, Ryan. I think you're touching on there is, reconnecting with with yourself in an honest way and acknowledging, being aware of those excuses that you might be creating for yourself. And then also, I love what you said about crushing the opportunity you do have. I tell this story to the tribe members. When I was 22 years old, I had phenomenal full-time job at Under Armour. I was handling the top domestic accounts, salary, benefits, everybody in my social sphere congratulating me. And I realized that it wasn't the right fit for me. And I got really real with me. And I think that having that conversation with yourself is going to serve you to pull out your greatest levels of confidence. What I did when I left Under Armour is I got into fitness training. My first day of fitness training, I had 2 people show up to the park to spend $5. 22 years old, just quit the corporate job that I went through 5 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars of school to
You're
get.
a wild boy.
And I cried that walk home because, for obvious reasons, I was scared shit. But what I learned was exactly what Ryan just said. I took those 2 people and I gave them everything. I went food shopping with them. I called them in the morning. I called them in the night. I gave them extra workouts. I allowed their friends to bring workouts. And 3 months later, I had so many clients that I went back to Under Armour and said, I want to be the director of marketing and sales, and I'm bringing my clients with me. Sign here.
All right.
And I took the 2 and I turned 2 into 50. And I love what you just said about that. If you have a little bit of opportunity right now, keep the effort, keep the attitude, and dial into where that little opportunity is, and it will grow for you.
Yes,
I love what you said there, Ryan. And Mike, that's a phenomenal question. Thank you for asking. All right, let me make sure I don't have anybody else. There we go. Everybody should be off mute right now. Emily? Okay, Emily?
Hello.
All right, there we go.
Hey, I don't have any questions, but thanks for your time today. You definitely said a few things that I needed to hear for my life and what's been going on family-wise. So it was kind of nice to hear what you had to say and just take the time to actually get through to me, I feel like, on different levels. So much appreciated.
No, I appreciate it, man. And it's a blessing, and there's not much difference between people. And I think if you got family stuff, man, you got to put them first. And also, family can be a headache. You got to budget family. You got to budget the time you get with them. And if you got to get up in the mornings or you got to stay up late at night to get your work done or get your grind on, you got to knock it out. But no, thank you guys for staying patient with me, because I know you have just as equally a busy work schedule or times as I have. So I definitely apologize again on my behalf for yesterday and even today, pushing back those 30 minutes. So I appreciate you guys for sticking with me. Thank you.
No sweat. That's Emily all the way from St. Louis. Ryan, we got time for one more question.
Thanks for the Rams.
From
Yeah.
Raider Nation, baby.
Do we have a chance for one more question, Ryan?
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I know the boys over there in Virginia, DC area would love to hop on the horn real quick and wrap us up today.
Yeah, no real questions on our end. I think one thing that definitely resonated with both of us, and it's really something that I've never thought about before, is you were talking at the very beginning, you were talking about consistency and how we all kind of see consistency is that's the definition of consistency, kind of. But if you think of it like this and focus on that, then, I mean, that changes up the whole game. And that was my biggest takeaway from that, is changing my life from kind of flatlining and, maybe peaking every now and then to just, let's just make this like a roller coaster that goes up to the heavens, man.
Yeah.
Change the world.
And man, we get so greedy. We get a little bit of success, and instead of we get $10 and we wish we had $100. But if you're getting $10 more a year than you made last year, or you making a little bit more, you got to appreciate those successes, because it means you're moving in the right direction.
Definitely.
We get so damn greedy and go, I just saw my partner get that $100,000 raise and he ain't better than me. And we go, why I only get a $50 raise? Why I only get a $75 raise? You're moving up, and that's all that matters, as long as you keep on moving up. I used to get mad in the NBA when I see other players get paid or whatnot, and I go to my agent, I be like, yo, that should be me. Why is that not me? He go, look, man, he shook my hands. He said, you're making more now than you made last year. Who cares what those guys make? You are making more now than you making last year. And you don't even see the guys that aren't even in the NBA no more. You don't even see it. So when you keep that in perspective and you keep doing this, because it's somebody doing this, and it's just somebody doing this, they're not even moving forward. You know, you keep doing that, man. That's what it's about. Because we're all young. I'm looking at the face. Everybody's in here young. Ain't nobody in here on their deathbeds. We can all grind. We're all young. So you do this for another 15 or 20 years of doing like this, man, it's a problem. It's a problem.
Guys, with that, there's a lot of energy in the room.
Actually, I have one request, actually. Yeah. What's going on, Ryan?
What's up, brother?
It's Eric Andy from Los Angeles again. I was actually wondering, man, if you ever need a cut, man, come by, bro. Hook you up at Elevate Barbershop in Alhambra, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Appreciate it, man. Shoot me your info on Twitter or whatever, man. If I'm ever in the area, you know, it's Pasadena 626 all day, man. I'll slide through, my man.
You know
or
what?
at least shoot you a shout or something, you know.
Yeah, definitely, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Much appreciated, brother.
Ryan, you're in the influentials now in our Facebook group, so you have access to every single person that was on the call. If you have any questions for them, you guys, Ryan's in the group. Please respect his privacy and his time, but feel free to continue the conversation anyway.
If you guys need anything from me, man, like John said, man, just shoot me a question later on or whatever, and to update you on myself before I get out of here or whatnot. I want to go into broadcasting when I finish because I feel just as basic as. If I wasn't 7 feet, I'd be somewhere playing basketball somewhere just because that's what I love to do. So I'm like, let's go to the NBA. And if I'm not in the NBA, I'm going to be around talking basketball at somebody's barbershop getting cut.
My barbershop.
You know what I'm saying? Getting cut, talking about basketball. So why not talk basketball? So I want to go into broadcasting when I finish. So I do some ESPN 710. I've had some spots on ESPN. So now it's almost like my second grind. So as I work towards my basketball career and seeing whatever money I can make out of it, I want to succeed in that field too. So now I'm stepping into a completely different field where these people have gone to school for years and years, and I'm new to it. So now I got to get my same grind on, and I got to start from playing one. And they don't like that a basketball player has some intelligence and that a basketball player is able to come in with a work ethic because guys are arrogant and guys say, oh, I'm such and such. Just put me on TV or put me on radio. No, it's a lot of work to do. It's a lot of work. So for me, man, I'm in the same situation as you guys and just looking for that second career. And I got to start from square one and grind and make phone calls. And I can't tell you how many people in broadcasting that told me no. No, you can't be on there. And I've had to bug them just to get on TV or just to get on radio. So that's something, man, I'm still bugging and I'm still working for it because all I needed to hear is yes one time. That's all I need to hear. And they respect that work ethic. They respect what I'm on.
That's right. You got to be ready to put in that 10X effort. Quick little story, Ryan, we're so happy to let you go. Obviously, you're a member of the Influential. So as you try to build your career, guess who you can lean on? Everybody else on this phone call. We're glad to help you. Guys, with that, I'll go ahead and say, Ryan, thank you so much for your time. Everybody on the call, thank you for being flexible and making this a priority in your day. Y'all are a powerful tribe, and I couldn't be more happy with how we've been able to interact over the last 10 to 11 days. God bless and great energy to all of us for the rest of the month, and I'll be talking to you guys next Tuesday for our next sales call.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys
Appreciate
so
it, John.
Hey, thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys.